About 10 minutes before Mass begins, light the candles on either side of the ambo. Take the large wine flask and the large paten with the hosts from the sacristy to the back of the church and put them on the small table in the back. The cross bearer leads, walking at a slow and steady pace. Take your time. The cross bearer takes the cross to its stand and puts it in the stand with the crucifix facing toward the people. The other servers separate at the bottom step so that the priest can be in the middle. All bow deeply from the waist with the priest. A lector will take the gospel book to place on the altar. Then the altar servers go around the altar to the left and to the right and stand in front of their chairs. The priest will then say or sing, "Let us pray." The server to the priest's right will pick up the sacramentary from the small stand and hold it right side up for the priest to read. When the priest finishes the prayer, the server returns the book to the small stand. Then sit and listen with attention to the readings and the homily. After the prayers of the faithful, one server gets the sacramentary from the table and brings it down to the altar. The other server goes to the parish hall to get the children from children's liturgy. That's at all masses except 7:30 on Sunday morning. The server then goes to the credence table and gets the cups and water cruet. Take the cups and the water cruet to the altar and put them on the closest side of the altar, the side nearest the credence table. Take the purificators, that is the white cloth, out of the cups and lay them folded in front of the cups. Another server lights the 2 altar candles from the ambo candles and then extinguishes the candles at the ambo. Then be seated. When the priest goes down to the aisle to receive the gifts from the people, 2 altar servers go with him. The priest will hand the gifts of bread and wine to the servers. The servers walk around behind the altar and place the gifts in the middle of the altar. After the priest is finished with the wine pitcher, a server takes it and places it on the shelf under the credence table. When the priest is finished pouring the water into the wine, a server takes the cruet and keeps it for washing of the priest's hands. A server gets the lavabo, or the glass plate, for the washing of the priest's hands. A server gets the towel from the credence table for drying the priest's hands. Bring the water cruet, lavabo, and towel to the side of the altar. The priest will walk over to the side of the altar to wash his hands. The server with the water pours just a little over the priest's hands. The server with the lavabo holds it under the priest's hands to catch any water. The server with the towel gives it to the priest to dry his hands. Take it back when he hands it to you. Servers return everything to the credence table, put the stopper back in the water cruet, then stand at your place by the little kneeling rug on the step, facing the altar. After we sing the Holy, 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 it's when everybody kneels. After the Eucharistic prayer, get up and stand behind the altar for the Our Father. The priest may or may not take your hand. After exchanging the sign of the peace, servers go to the credence table and take all the patens to the other side of the altar, the side nearest the sacristy. A server takes the sacramentary off the altar to the little stand beside the priest's chair. Take your seat after receiving communion and sit prayerfully until communion is finished. After communion, when the priest stands and says, "Let us pray,"
let us pray.
The server to the priest's right takes the sacramentary from the small table and holds it for the priest to read.
Lord, forgive us the sins we ask.
After the priest finishes reading the prayer from the sacramentary, the book goes back on the little stand. Then the servers on the priest's left takes the announcement sheet, the clipboard, from the shelf behind the chair and gives it to the priest. During the final song, when the priest begins to move toward the altar, the cross-bearer takes the cross from its stand and goes down the steps and down the aisle to the first long pew, turns around and faces the altar. The remaining servers and other ministers line up on the main floor facing the altar. The priest is in the center. All bow deeply from the waist. The cross-bearer does not bow. Then the cross-bearer, at a slow, steady pace, leads everyone to the back of the church. The servers return to the sacristy. One server gets a candle snuffer and puts out the altar candles.